It's time now for our book review segment, and this week we're discussing Saving South Africa, Lessons from the uMngeni Municipality, the Success Story. I am joined now by Mayor Chris Pappas as well as his deputy Sandile Mnikathi to tell us a bit more about their experiences as leaders in this municipality. Gentlemen, a pleasure to have you both on the platform this afternoon. Mayor Pappas, I'll start with you. In Saving South Africa, or this book if you will, you entail the challenges faced by the new administration. What were some of the most surprising obstacles you encountered?
Well, good afternoon to you and to all the viewers at home. I think some of the most difficult things that we had to deal with was obviously the financial state of the municipality, having big ideas and having a lot to deal with, but not having the money to actually start implementing your plan. But I think that is something that we expected. I think the thing that was unexpected was the sheer the lack of internal consistency, coherence, systems and controls, policies to get the municipality moving.
Deputy Mayor Mnikathi, one of the systematic issues discussed in the book is this confusion over roles between different levels of local government. How did this affect your efforts, and what reforms do you propose to even address these challenges?
Good afternoon, Nhlanhla, and to your viewers, and thanks for having us on your show. Definitely, I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we still currently face. So, for example, uMngeni local municipality is not responsible for water provision and sanitation. And so we have a huge backlog in terms of sanitation, where the Ndlovu district municipality is supposed to provide that particular service. So I look at one particular area in uMngeni municipality is Nhlanhla village, where they have a septic tank system. And to this day, since September last year, the septic tanks haven't been emptied. Now, one of the things that we propose is that if you give us as a local municipality more powers to carry out those functions, but obviously looking at whether the municipality has capacity or not to do so, I think some of these challenges will be addressed far quicker than what residents have to currently go through at the moment.
Mr. Pappas, the book also highlights issues such as cadre deployment and corruption within local governance. How did you navigate these challenges while also striving to uphold transparency, if you will, and even accountability in the municipality?
So yeah, there's one of the reports that we did right at the beginning showed that I think it was 31 or 34% of the staff in the municipality neither had the skills or the qualifications to do the work that they were employed to do. And then you start to work backwards from then. What are the critical positions, what are the critical departments, and how do you start to build that capacity? In some cases, yes, it is because people have been deployed, because we use that word, deployed into positions where they actually can't do the work. And you find out that they are branch chairpersons or secretary or regional somethings, and they've never been held accountable for the failure of their department. So we struck this compromise. It's constant balance, and we're still striking it today, is that you actually have to, you can't destabilize the municipality, you can't break the municipality. But at the same time, you can't just accept that people are not doing their jobs or got to those positions irregularly, and you have to start working those out. So systematically, we've been holding people accountable, whether through introducing a performance management system, whether it is looking into cases that have been long outstanding from the Special Investigating Unit or Section 106 reports from the provincial government, and just generally doing what the law allows us to do in terms of holding people accountable through the various mechanisms. And slowly people leave. The people who know they've been doing wrong, or people who know they got their jobs irregularly, leave of their own will. Other times you have to put a little bit more pressure.
So, Mr. Mnikathi, the funding model for municipalities is also described in the book as unsustainable. What changes do you believe are necessary to really ensure adequate financial resources for local governments?
Sure. So currently, local governments as a whole throughout the entire country only receive 9% of the equitable share. The rest goes to national and provincial governments. And so that's one of the issues that we really find in local government, is that we then oftentimes have to deal with things that should really be competencies of provincial government. So, for example, when the KZN Education Department of Education in KwaZulu-Natal failed to distribute food, the uMngeni local municipality had to step up to the plate, because we just couldn't bear the thought of kids having to go to school without being fed. Now, that's not a competency of local government, and the relevant provincial government has been given the funds to do so. So we end up having to take money that could have fixed a road. We end up having to take away money that could have cut verges. and really what we are mandated to do. So that's one of the things that we propose, is that we get a larger share of the equitable share. But also at the same time, we believe that we should be allowed to impose more taxes. So I think Chris in the past year has written an op-ed where he argued that, a lot of the liquor laws don't allow us to raise taxes from liquor, but we deal with the drunken driving, we deal with the public indecency. So we believe that we should be allowed to raise more taxes to be able to fund ourselves. So the Constitution assumes that local government can fund itself from trading services primarily. So trading services, refuse collection, electricity provision. But there's a culture of non-payment in South Africa. So that's one of the things that we have to navigate through as local government.
Mayor Pappas, can you share some specific strategies which have been implemented in uMngeni to really combat inefficiency, but also improve service delivery?
Sure. So one of it was quite amazing actually. The first time we had to do performance assessments in the municipality, the performance manager, I asked him to come to my office because I wanted him to talk me through it. It was the first time for me doing performance assessments for senior staff as well. And when I asked him, how does this process actually go? He said he's not quite sure because it hasn't been done in 10 years since he had been there. So a simple thing like introducing a performance management system with targets that you could then hold people accountable to. And then those targets reflect your vision and the work that you're trying to do, whether it is, the number of street lights fixed or the turnaround time for electricity outages, kilometers of roads re-gravelled, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. A simple performance management system, which doesn't really exist in many municipalities, specifically smaller ones. That's a simple thing. Businesses do it all the time, and you would expect government to do the same.
So, Deputy Mayor, what role do you see technology really playing in, call it modernizing local governance and enhancing citizen engagement?
Look, I think one of the first things is digitization of our records. So, we've got a planning department, a relatively small planning department. But, when we came into government, every single thing was in paper. So we often joked and said that if our planning department had to go up in flames, all the plans that have been passed over so many years would disappear. And the same goes for HR records. So I think internally, we need to start moving away from, to paperless systems. But then, of course, how you communicate with people. And I think the person sitting next to me has done it quite well in using social media to be able to communicate not only our position as local government, but also, what programs there are for people. So we recently had an Mbizo in my ward, and people were saying that certain information is not going out to them. So we still believe that there is a gap that we need to fill in ensuring that everyone is aware of what their municipality is doing and how we can engage with the municipality. There are obviously a few things that we've put into place at the moment. So, we've got a WhatsApp system now that you can, WhatsApp your pothole or WhatsApp whether you have a electricity outage. And that's just a small thing in closing down that gap between the municipality and its citizens. So we really, really believe that social media has got a huge, huge role to play going forward.
Let me thank my guests. That's Mayor Chris Pappas, as well as his deputy, Sandile Mnikathi, speaking to us about the journey of uMngeni Municipality, also reflected in this book that is Saving South Africa, Lessons from the uMngeni Municipality. They've been giving us their insights into the experience at the helm of uMngeni. Now, this is it.